What would you do if the moment you woke up from death, a glowing ball told you to run a store? Or get deleted? Not fired. Not fined. Deleted as in, you never existed, not a trace, not a memory, just gone. That is exactly what happened to Lin Mo, and the worst part is he had not even finished dying yet. 1 second he was alive. Then a monster the size of a building swatted him like a fly and turned him into paste. Next second, he woke up standing behind a counter in a dusty, crumbling shack the system had the nerve to call a store. Outside, ruins stretched in every direction as far as the eye could see. The air smelled like someone had microwaved a wet sock for 50 years. Because that is essentially what happened. The apocalypse had come and gone 50 years ago, and it took all of humanity with it. Not a single person left. Not one customer, not one coin. Not one human heartbeat within 5,000 kilometers. Just ruins, mutant monsters, and Lin Mo, standing behind a counter he did not ask for in a world that had already ended. And then the system hit him with the to-do list. Open the store within 1 day, or die. Get 10 sales within 3 days, or die. Stock half the shelves within 5 days, or die. Earn 3,000 points within a week, or die. Every single item on that list ended the same way, and it was not with a bonus. Lin Mo stared at the glowing blue ball floating in the corner and said the only thing that made sense. Who exactly am I supposed to be selling to? Zombies. Should I set up a buy one get one on brains? The system scanned 5,000 kilometers in every direction. Result, 0 humans, 0. It reported this back to him with all the warmth of a parking ticket. Lin Mo lost it. He cursed that ball for 5 solid minutes. Championship level, every word he knew, some he invented on the spot, ancestors included, full package delivery. And something impossible happened. The system crashed. It started sparking and smoking like a cheap phone charger that had been pushed past its limits. His emotional damage had literally broken an all-powerful artificial intelligence. When it rebooted, it was quieter, subdued, almost embarrassed. It offered him one thing as compensation, a phone call to anyone, at any point in history. Lin Mo's brain went to work immediately. His parents loved him, sure, but his mom would try to feed the zombies soup and his dad would lecture them about posture. These were not apocalypse-ready people. He needed someone with power, real power, armies, resources, the kind of reach that could move mountains. And then he spotted something in the fine print of the system's rules. Employee limit 10. Current employees, 0 out of 10. His brain lit up like a scoreboard. If he could hire employees, and the system allowed 10, then that phone call was not just a lifeline. It was a recruitment call. The system tried to argue. Lin Mo did not let it. He pointed at its own rulebook and yelled until the glowing ball shook and flickered. You cannot break your own rules. That is your contract. The system ran the logic, found no counter-argument, and finally caved. Fine, it said. And just like that, Lin Mo had won a shouting match against a cosmic AI using no logic at all, just pure stubbornness. Now he had one shot, one call, and he knew exactly who to dial. Kai Jingyang, the most powerful man in the country. Military background, iron will. Commands resources on a national scale. Perfect candidate. One tiny problem. Why would the most powerful man alive pick up a call from a nobody screaming about time travel? Lin Mo needed a hook. Something so specific and impossible to fake that the man would have no choice but to listen. He dug into the system for information and found it. Kai Jingyang's wife. Complications during childbirth. Contaminated blood bags. A tragedy the entire country knew about. The one wound that never fully healed in the most powerful man alive. Lin Mo made his call at the worst possible moment on Kai Jingyang's timeline. 10 seconds before the emergency began. On the other end of that call, a man standing outside a surgery room with a dead phone suddenly heard it ring anyway. No signal, no caller ID, just a garbled code on screen and a voice breathing hard on the other end. Lin Mo talked fast. He had 10 seconds and he used all of them. The door will open. A nurse will run out covered in blood. The backup supply is contaminated. Mother and baby, both gone. Kai Jingyang's voice went sub-zero. Military commander mode. He thought it was a prank. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The surgery door swung open. A nurse stumbled out, mask hanging off her face, practically crying. Emergency. Hemorrhage. Contaminated blood. Word for word. Exactly as Lin Mo said. Kai Jingyang stood there frozen, phone pressed to his ear, brain doing a complete factory reset. So, Lin Mo said into the silence, do you believe me now? The man did not hang up. That was enough. On his side, chaos was unfolding exactly on schedule. Kai Jingyang rolled up his sleeve, scars everywhere, a road map of every war he had ever fought, and offered his own blood. Then the head surgeon walked out with a consent form and a face like someone who had just lost everything. The bleeding would not stop. The organs were shutting down. They could save the baby. But the wife was gone. Kai Jing-yang looked at that form, the most powerful man in the country, and said for words that changed everything, "I want them both." The doctor stared at him like he had asked for a miracle, which was exactly what he was asking for. And then Lin Mo spoke again through the phone the man had almost forgotten he was holding. "Still don't believe me?" Kai Jing-yang grabbed the phone so fast he nearly hit himself in the face with it. "What do you want? Money? Power? My life? Take it, just save her." The most powerful man in the country was offering everything he had. And Lin Mo walked to his shelf and grabbed the cheapest item in the store. A basic health potion, beginner life serum, bottom shelf, bargain bin. The store brand equivalent of medicine, made from mutant monster blood. In Lin Mo's world, it was barely worth mentioning. 55 years in the past, it was liquid miracle. "System," he said, "send this to him." The system complained. Regulations, ethics, interdimensional shipping protocols. Lin Mo expressed his feelings on the matter. The system caved and sent the syringe, delivered straight into Kai Jing-yang's left chest pocket, like the world's most impossible delivery service. "Check your left pocket," Lin Mo said. On the other end, chaos, the doctor begging, the clock ticking, and then Kai Jing-yang's fingers touching something that should not exist. A glowing red syringe in a pocket he had checked himself that morning. Zero hesitation, he charged through the surgery room door, kicked the doctor out of his way, and drove that needle into his wife's arm. 1 second, 2, 3, nothing. Then one beat from the heart monitor. Then another. Then faster. Numbers climbing, blood pressure normalizing. The bleeding just stopped, completely. Like someone turning off a faucet. Her face went from ghost white to actual human color. The country's top surgeon was losing his mind, grabbing Kai Jing-yang's sleeve, screaming about miracles. The man who commanded armies stood there touching his wife's face. As the color came back to her cheeks, eyes wet, hands still. Then the doctor remembered there was still a baby to deliver, and the whole room scrambled back into position. Kai Jing-yang stepped into the hallway, picked up the phone, and said two words, "I believe you." Music to Lin Mo's ears. The most powerful man in the country owed him a favor, and the currency of payment was a potion Lin Mo would not even bother putting on the front shelf. Not a bad first sale. Kai Jing-yang lit a cigarette and finally spoke to Lin Mo like a human being. "Who are you?" Lin Mo took a breath. "Hi, I'm Lin Mo. I'm from 55 years in the future." Dead silence, just the sound of a cigarette slowly burning. To the man's credit, he did not hang up. He had just watched his dead wife come back to life from a syringe that appeared from nowhere. His threshold for impossible was at an all-time high, but he was sharp. Even after witnessing a miracle, he thought like a chess player. "If you are from the future, why are you calling backwards in time like a desperate refugee? What went wrong?" Lin Mo laughed, not the funny kind. The kind your body makes when it is too exhausted to do anything else. 55 years in the future, he said. There is no future. There is no country. There is no civilization. It is all gone. Kai Jing-yang's chair hit the floor. The man who stays calm under artillery fire was on his feet screaming. Impossible. Lin Mo did not flinch. It is not a war. Not another country. Not politics. Monsters, endless, swarming monsters, like locusts covering the sky. 5 years from now, they arrive. Every weapon humanity has barely scratches them. 1 month. That is all it took to erase human civilization from the face of the earth. Not a battle, a slaughter. A complete, one-sided extermination. Silence on the line, heavy, shaky breathing from a man processing the impossible. But here is the thing about Kai Jing-yang. He trusted a deal more than a gift. When Lin Mo told him he needed something, the man actually relaxed a little. Good, he said. People who want nothing are the scary ones. And then he asked the obvious question. If everyone died, how are you alive? Funny story, Lin Mo said. I'm not. I died too. A monster the size of a building slapped me like a mosquito. Then I woke up 50 years later in a crappy convenience store. Normal Tuesday. Kai Jing-yang processed this, then asked the question that actually required an answer. If civilization is gone, where does that medicine come from? Lin Mo told him everything. The system, the store, the magic inventory, the cosmic vending machine logic of it all. He figured lying to a man who had survived wars and run nations was a career-ending move. The system scanned their call. Kai Jing-yang's intelligence agency had been trying to trace it the entire time. Satellites. Full surveillance network. Every tracking system the country had. Result? Signal origin not on Earth. Not in the country. Not on the continent. Not on the planet. Lin Mo's phone call was registering as an alien transmission. Because technically a call from 55 years in the future is exactly that. Whatever doubt Kai Jing Yang had left evaporated like spit on a hot pan. And then his voice changed. Not the worried husband voice. Not the cautious politician voice. The commander voice. The one that moves armies with a sentence. Comrade Lin Mo. What do you need? That hit Lin Mo like a truck. Since waking up in this wasteland he had been completely alone. Just him, a psychotic system, and a world full of monsters. He had already died once. He was honestly thinking about letting it happen again. And now someone was telling him he was not alone anymore. He cried. He is not ashamed to admit it. He cried a lot. Kai Jing Yang heard him through the phone and just waited, patient as a grandfather, letting him have the moment. Then he dropped the hammer. From today, you are not alone. Me and 1.4 billion people will always be behind you. Lin Mo wiped his face, pulled himself together. No time for feelings. Feelings come after survival. I need soldiers, he said. The best of the best. Kai Jing Yang did not blink. How many? 100,000. A million. Lin Mo looked at his store level. Level 1. Employee limit 10. I need 10. The silence that followed was the longest of Lin Mo's life. He could hear a pen screech across paper on the other end. How many? 10. Not 1,000, 10. But 10 of the absolute best the country had ever produced. And that was enough for now. Then Kai Jing Yang asked the question that changed everything about the arrangement. Can they come back? Not can they win. Not can they survive. Can they come back? These were real people with real families. And he was not sending them on a one-way trip without knowing. Lin Mo turned to the glowing ball. Hey system, answer the man. The system flickered with deep offense. Employees have full personal freedom. This is not a prison. They log in via memory copy. If they die, their memories return to their original body. 1 free resurrection per day. Refreshing at 6 in the morning. Kai Jing Yang's voice shook. Not from fear, from excitement. Immortal combat training in the actual apocalypse against real monsters. And they come back with all the experience. He had just stumbled onto the greatest military training program in human history. Then Lin Mo had his own realization. Wait, so my employees get free respawns and only I get permanently deleted. The system spun lazily in the air, dripping contempt. Is that not standard employee welfare? Lin Mo wanted to fight this orb. Then Kai Jing Yang raised the issue of secrecy. Do not tell anyone. Not the public. Not yet. His logic was airtight. Tell 1 billion people the world ends in 5 years and you do not get preparation. You get panic, riots, collapse. Society tears itself apart before the monsters even arrive. The plan instead, use the store as a secret training ground. Send elite soldiers to the future. Let them die, respawn, learn, get stronger. Build an army of apocalypse-hardened super soldiers before anyone knows they need one. Then tell the world. But Lin Mo's brain was already 3 steps ahead. Because 10 soldiers becoming 1,000 meant a secret. That 10 people could keep becoming a secret 1,000 people need to keep. People talk. And that is when it hit him. The greatest idea he had ever had. We tell them, it is a video game. Dead silence. A game. Yes, fancy pods. Government logo. Most realistic virtual reality experience ever created. They go in, fight monsters, die, respawn. That is just gaming. We call it Wasteland Era. Kai Jing Yang went quiet, processing the sheer audacity of what Lin Mo had just suggested. Take the actual end of the world and and it is entertainment. He raised a fair point. This is real pain, real terror, real monsters ripping people apart. Today's young people post on social media when they get a paper cut. Lin Mo smiled. Sir, with the deepest respect, you are severely underestimating our nation's players. These people stay up 3 days straight for a ranking spot. They spend their life savings on virtual outfits. Just dangle some prizes. First place on the kill count leaderboard gets 5 million cash. Second place, 3 million. Third, 1 million. Top 100 get 100,000 each. Kai Jing Yang inhaled sharply. The money shocked him. Which was funny, because this man controlled an entire national budget. If the apocalypse actually happens and the government cannot protect anyone, money is just paper anyway. Spend it now while it still means something. The psychological damage, Kai Jing Yang said, still protective. Still worried about people's feelings while the world has an expiration date. Lin Mo needed to shift his thinking, and he did it with the oldest trick in the book. Language is a filter on reality. You are not changing what is real. You are choosing which side of it to light up. If you say we are sending you to fight real monsters and you will feel real pain, and probably die horribly, people riot. But if you say, congratulations, you have been selected for the nation's most advanced gaming experience, with millions in prize money, sir, I promise you, those gamers will not be running from the zombies. The zombies will be running from them. Kai Jing-yang exploded. Not with anger. With excitement. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. He practically vibrated through the phone. 3 days, he said. I will build 10,000 gaming pods. Military grade. Explosion-proof. Lin Mo blinked. Sir, we are trying to save humanity, not open a spa. But that kind of efficiency is insane. Government resources hit different. Now came the other business partner. The round, glowing, emotionally unstable one. The second the system noticed Lin Mo looking at it, it backed into the corner like a cat hearing a vacuum cleaner. What do you want? It squeaked. Lin Mo put on his sweetest smile. Hey buddy, pal, brother. Let's chat. Stop smiling, the system said. It is terrifying. Lin Mo laid out the plan. Use quantum technology to pull players' consciousness from the past into his timeline. Build the game infrastructure. Make it real. Absolutely not, the system said, against regulations. Here we go again. Lin Mo leaned in like a used car salesman with nothing to lose. Think about it. If I die, what happens to you? Long pause. Theoretically, I would be unbound and destroyed. Exactly. We are on the same rope. I go down, you go down. Keeping me alive is basically just self-care. The light flickered. It was thinking. Picture this, Lin Mo continued. An army of immortal players pouring in, killing monsters, collecting resources while we sit back and profit. All those players killing monsters means tons of source crystals flowing in. You get a cut of everything. This is not charity. This is an investment. The system went quiet. Its circuits were cooking. Then it said the magic words. Fine. I can help. But dramatic pause. It is going to cost extra. This floating nightlight had just learned to negotiate. Lin Mo had created a capitalist. Deal, he said instantly. Put it on my tab. The system muttered to itself. Something feels weird about this. But then again, he called me brother. That was what got through. Not the business logic. Not the survival argument. The word brother. This interdimensional AI was emotionally starved, and Lin Mo had weaponized it. Just like that, he had peer-pressured an ancient cosmic system into becoming his business partner. Using death threats, emotional manipulation, fake brotherhood, and a payment plan he absolutely could not afford. Entrepreneurship. Kai Jing-yang worked fast. Within hours, 10 elite soldiers stood in a room. The absolute cream of the crop. Handpicked from millions. Every one of them a combat machine capable of things that would make action movies look boring. Kai Jing-yang gave them the speech. This concerns the fate of our nation. Not a word leaves this room. The captain, a man named Qin Feng, punched himself in the chest so hard it was a miracle nothing cracked. If I leak a single word, may I die 1,000 deaths. The other 9 followed with their own dramatic oaths. Military guys are intense. 10 bronze rings went on 10 fingers, and all 10 of them dropped instantly, collapsing like dominoes on the floor. Kai Jing-yang stood over their unconscious bodies, saluted, and whispered, "The future of our nation rests with you." On Lin Mo's end, 10 soldiers materialized inside his dusty little shop like they had been spat out of a washing machine. They woke up gasping, disoriented, looking around like confused puppies, and then, in one fluid motion, they snapped into a perfect defensive formation. Back to back, covering all angles, no weapons, no intel, completely lost. And still flawless military precision. Then Qin Feng started testing everything. He knocked on the glass shelves, scraped dirt off the floor, rubbed it between his fingers. The physics engine is incredible, he muttered. They must have modeled this down to the atomic level. He still thought it was a game. To confirm his pain simulation theory, he reached over and pinched his teammate Zhao Jian's face. Hard. Zhao Jian launched 3 feet into the air, clutching his cheek, staring at Qin Feng with murder in his eyes. Good, Qin Feng nodded calmly. Pain system is also 100% accurate. The technology is remarkable. Then pinch yourself. You psycho. Zhao Jian lunged. Qin Feng had to physically separate them. They finally noticed Lin Mo, a 20-something kid in casual clothes, drinking tea, legs crossed, watching the circus. Are you Lin Mo? Qin Feng asked. That is me. Zhao Jian whispered to the guy next to him. This game has NPCs. He thought it was supposed to be realistic. He thought Lin Mo was a non-player character, a background decoration, the owner of the entire operation, the man holding humanity's last thread of hope. And this mountain of muscle, said NPC. Lin Mo chose not to take that personally. Welcome to Wasteland era. He turned to the system. Alright, ball boy, do your thing. 10 holographic screens. Employment contracts. Terms and conditions. Sign here. Qin Feng scanned the fine print. Something about all rights reserved by the Myriad World's general store. Without hesitation, all 10 slapped their palms on the screens. 10 employees. 10 elite immortal soldiers now working in Lin Mo's crappy little apocalypse shop. He finally had a staff. The store was open for business. And their first mission: go outside, kill 1 zombie, bring the body back. Simple, like a tutorial quest. Kill 1 monster. Return to the NPC, which was Lin Mo. He gave them the safety briefing. Pain is 100% real here. Death feels real. You respawn once a day for free. Maybe do not treat this like a speed run. Zhao Jian, still traumatized from the face pinch, shivered. Poor man. Then someone asked the obvious question. Where are the weapons? Lin Mo pointed at the gleaming weapon rack. 1 source crystal per day rental fee. Break it. 20 crystals replacement cost. The room looked at him like he had just announced Christmas was cancelled. We are going out there to fight monsters and you are charging us rental fees. Brother, I want to give you free stuff. I really do. But the system only accepts source crystals and my employee discount is exactly 0%. Rules are rules. He shrugged and pointed at the ceiling like some invisible corporate overlord was watching. Which technically was true. Qin Feng shut Zhao Jian up and grabbed a tactical knife. Black blade, 30 centimeters. Non-reflective finish, per accord handle. He flipped it once. It whistled through the air. Good knife, he said, and tucked it away like he had been born with it. Lei Yu, the team's firepower specialist, insisted on a modified shotgun. 5 shells only. But the look on his face said he would rather die than go into battle. Without something that goes boom. Move out, Qin Feng barked. And just like that, 10 elite soldiers vanished through the front door into the wasteland. The second that door closed, Lin Mo collapsed into his chair like a deflated balloon. Acting is harder than killing zombies, he groaned. The system chimed in helpfully. Your performance was somewhat exaggerated. Shut up, Lin Mo said. If you had not dumped me in this hellhole, I would not need to act. He pulled up his task screen, big red countdown timer. 20 hours left to complete 1 transaction or get permanently deleted. Please come back alive, he whispered at the door. Not for your sake, for mine. 300 meters out, his employees found their target. 1 zombie, ruined business suit, half a face gone. 1 eyeball dangling outside the socket, swinging like a fleshy pendulum. Zhao Jian almost threw up. The modeling on this thing is insane. I can see individual blood vessels on that eyeball. Qin Feng nodded seriously. I have to admit, I underestimated our country's tech capabilities. These men were standing 300 meters from Lin Mo's shop, staring at a real zombie, and their main takeaway was great graphics. It nearly killed them. Xiao Yun snuck up behind it and stabbed it in the neck. The knife went into centimeters and stopped, like he had stabbed a rock. The zombie spun around and nearly ripped his throat out, tore his collar open. The man barely dodged with a backflip, terrified. Qin Feng charged in and hacked at the zombie's neck, hit the shoulder instead. Black blood everywhere. The zombie did not flinch. Where is the stagger animation? Qin Feng yelled. Zhao Jian smashed its knee with a steel pipe. It dropped to 1 leg. Lei Yu tackled it. Everyone piled on. 10 elite soldiers playing zombie wrestling. This thing is stronger than me, Lei Yu screamed, face turning purple, veins popping, while a dried-up corpse bench-pressed him. Cut the head off, Qin Feng shouted. He grabbed his knife with both hands and brought it down like a lumberjack splitting wood. The head rolled off. The body went still. Finally. They sat on the ground gasping like they had just run a marathon, covered in black blood. Emotionally destroyed. 1 zombie, 10 men, barely survived. Zhao Jian stared at his steel pipe, now bent at a 90-degree angle. Did the developers set the difficulty wrong? Qin Feng wiped his blade, deeply troubled. This isn't a difficulty problem. This is a realism problem. No health bars, no weak point indicators. Their bones follow actual biology except stronger. This isn't a game, someone muttered. This is survival in another dimension. Then came the fun part, transporting the body back. No inventory system, no loot button, no press any key to collect. Carry it, Qin Feng said. Zhao Jian's face went through 17 emotions. It smells like it has been marinating in a sewer for 3 years and you want us to carry it. Lei Yu threw the headless corpse over his shoulder like a sack of rice, because of course he did. And that is when everything went sideways. 1 howl in the distance. Then another. Then hundreds. Qin Feng climbed a broken wall, looked out, and jumped back down with the face of a man who had just seen his own funeral. Run! Run now! Zombie horde. Hundreds of them, coming this way. One zombie had nearly wiped them out. Now hundreds were charging like a tsunami of rotting flesh. Who puts a horde event in the tutorial zone? Zhao Jian shrieked. They ran. Full sprint. Like you carrying over 100 pounds of dead zombie on his back. Somehow running like an Olympic sprinter. When someone asked if he could keep up, he yelled, "A man never says he can't." Behind them, monsters pouring through the ruins like a black flood, crawling on the ground, jumping off walls, screeching from every direction. 200 meters to the shop. 150. 100. The shop was in view. 10 grown men running for their lives, one of them carrying a headless corpse. All of them screaming. They dove through the barrier, sliding, rolling, crashing across the invisible safe zone line like they were sliding into home base. Then silence. The zombies slammed into the force field like birds hitting a window. Faces smooshing flat against nothing, clawing at air. Hundreds piled up. Layer after layer of snarling, screeching rage, but not one of them got through. Not one step. 10 employees lay on the ground inside the safe zone, panting, bleeding, covered in black goo, staring at the ceiling. Lin Mo took another sip of tea. First day on the job, everybody. They brought back the body. He was not going to die today. Probably. But before he could say anything, Zhao Jian got up, walked to the edge of the barrier, where a zombie's drooling mouth was 10 centimeters from his face, and started taunting them. He made a stupid face, stuck out his tongue, wiggled his fingers, then started doing the hokey-pokey with the barrier. 1 foot out, zombie swipes, foot back in. He turned around and twerked at several hundred zombies. Qin Feng covered his face in shame. Then Qin Feng had a brilliant idea watching Zhao Jian's clown show. The zombies could not come in, but weapons could go out. 10 soldiers lined up along the invisible wall like a firing squad. On the other side, hundreds of zombies pressing against the barrier, arms reaching through but falling short by centimeters. It was a buffet, no dodging needed, no footwork, just stab, pull back, stab again. Like spearing fish in a barrel. The system started panicking internally. Warning, detecting potential exploit. It is not an exploit, Lin Mo said calmly. Brains are part of strength. If they cannot figure out basic terrain advantage, they will not survive 3 days out there. 2.5 hours. 239 zombies. His 10 guys chopped through them like a production line. By the end, they were so exhausted they could not lift a finger. Melted into puddles on the ground. But Zhao Jian, bless his psychotic heart, was grinning. That was amazing, he said at the sky. Every hit felt real. These men had gone from this is terrifying to this is the greatest thing ever in about 2 hours. Give elite soldiers permission to go absolutely wild with no permanent consequences, and they become addicted. Qin Feng even admitted it. 1 month of training here equals a year in the real world. And since they cannot permanently die, they can try the craziest tactics imaginable. Lin Mo walked out to the mountain of zombie parts. The smell could knock out a horse. He did not flinch. The system swept the ground in blue light. Every corpse dissolved like snow in sunshine. Ground spotless. Not a drop of blood. Then the payday screen appeared. 239 zombies recycled. 2,521 source crystals earned. A waterfall of shiny thumb-sized gems poured from thin air and piled at Qin Feng's feet. Like pirate treasure. Zhao Jing grabbed a handful, eyes wide. This is money. Qin Feng was more practical. Store manager, can we deposit these with you? Carrying all this into battle seems unwise. Store manager, not NPC. Not that kid behind the counter. Store manager. Lin Mo was moving up in the world. Time to do what he did best. Sell things to people who had no choice but to buy them. He pulled up the catalog. He watched their eyes light up. Then watched those eyes die when they saw the prices. Zhao Jian spotted the rock-cleaving blade. 30 combat power, beautiful, deadly. Price, 500 source crystals. 500. His voice hit a note that dogs could hear. We almost died for 2.5 hours and that is what we can afford. Is it made of gold? Lin Mo shrugged. Do not like it. Try punching the next zombie with your bare fist. He shut up, but his soul was visibly leaving his body through his wallet. Before they could start shopping, Lin Mo dropped a quiet bomb. By the way, he said, pointing at the cut on Zhao Jian's hand. Around the wound, thin black lines were crawling up his veins like tiny evil snakes. Zombie virus. Touch an open wound, you turn. His steel pipe hit the floor. His face went white. This fearless soldier, who had been twerking at zombies 10 minutes ago, was staring at his own hand, like it had betrayed him. Panic. The shopping screen opened. Antidote, 8 crystals. Suddenly 500 for a sword was robbery, but 8 to not become a zombie. Take it immediately. Funny how priorities shift when you are about to turn into an undead cannibal. On Lin Mo's private screen, golden text appeared. Quest, complete 1 transaction. Completed. He leaned back and let the tension drain out. Done. First sale. The system could not delete him today. He had just bought himself 3 more days of existence with antidote potions. Qin Feng looked at him differently after that. Real respect. If Lin Mo had not warned them, the entire squad would have been zombies by morning. Store manager, Qin Feng said, almost bowing. What should we buy? Oh, now he was the expert. Now they wanted his opinion. He gave them the smart build. For rock-cleaving blades for the frontline fighters. Keep rentals for support. Antidotes for everyone. Dump the rest into healing potions. Qin Feng did the math, started with 2,521 crystals. After shopping, 298 left. What had looked like pirate treasure 5 minutes ago now looked like pocket change. Welcome to retail, Captain. Money comes in, money goes out. That is the circle of life. And Lin Mo was the guy in the middle collecting the fee. Then something unexpected happened. He made tea. 10 cups. Hot, free of charge. These men had been fighting for hours, had not eaten, had not drunk anything, and were covered in zombie juice. The least he could do was give them something warm. On the house, he said. They froze, stared at those steaming cups like he had offered them liquid gold. In a world that smelled like death and rot, hot tea might as well have been. Qin Feng drank his in 1 gulp. Even the stone-faced soldiers softened a little. 10 minutes of rest and they looked like different people. Good weapons, full medicine belts, actual morale. They headed back out. Revenue so far, 2,520 crystals. Only 480 more needed to hit the 3,000 target. A few dozen zombies. Easy money. Lin Mo was practically home free. While they hunted, the system suggested he invest 1,000 crystals in the beginner life potion recipe. Learn to make potions himself. Eventually unlock a factory. Become the manufacturer instead of just the seller. Why sell someone else's product when you can manufacture your own? Cut out the middleman. Become the middleman. He bought it. A tsunami of knowledge flooded his brain. Herb identification, extraction methods, mixing ratios, temperature control. All downloaded straight into his head like the world's most aggressive online course. Then his employees went back out. Zhao Jian was leading the charge, twirling his new blade. Grinning. Captain, with this I could split a mutant tiger in half. Nothing can, he started to say. A sound, the softest, wettest sound imaginable. Zhao Jian stopped, looked down. There was a hole in his chest, the size of a bowl, front to back. His heart was just gone. In its place, a long pink wriggling tongue. Something's tongue, punching straight through him from God knows where. Nobody moved, nobody breathed. The guy trash-talking zombies 1 second ago now had a window where his chest used to be. The tongue retracted. Zhao Jian's body flew backwards like a rag doll on a fishing line and vanished into the darkness. Just like that, gone. The new sword still in his hand when he disappeared. Everyone scrambled back behind the safe zone in pure panic. Then they saw what did it. A chameleon. Except this one was the size of a freight truck. Covered in color-shifting scales, clinging to a ruined building. Completely invisible the entire time. It had been waiting, and Zhao Jian walked right past it like a buffet delivery. It chewed. They could hear the bones crunching. It swallowed him whole. Then it licked its lips, glanced at the survivors with one rotating eyeball, and vanished back into thin air. The medic threw up everything. Tea, stomach acid, dignity, all of it on the ground. Is this really a game? Someone whispered. Nobody answered. Because what do you say when an invisible truck-sized lizard just ate your teammate? Even Qin Feng, the smartest one, was clenching his fists. It is fine, he said, just a game. He will respawn tomorrow. His voice said fine. His face said he would never sleep again. No crystals for instant revival. Zhao Jian waits until tomorrow's free reset. They keep moving. Brutal. Yes. Correct. Also yes. Welcome to apocalypse economics. They switched directions away from the invisible murder lizard and started exploring the ruins. Then a notification popped for everyone. Remote recycling function unlocked. A built-in pawn shop. Touch something valuable, the system scans it, and poof. It teleports to the store and deposits crystals. Han Bing tested it first. A reddish rock. Low-grade iron ore. 5 crystals. He touched it. It vanished. His balance went up. Every trace of fear evaporated in an instant. Suddenly these soldiers were not in a death wasteland. They were in a treasure hunt. 10 minutes of scavenging, 30-ish crystals each. Completely risk-free. No zombie encounters. No tongues through anyone's chest. Then Qin Feng spotted 3 mutant dogs at a crossroads. size of calves, rotting skin, teeth sticking out everywhere, combat power 41 each. Compared to the invisible chameleon, these were puppies. We fight, Qin Feng said. He started assigning positions. Left flank, right, front, then paused mid-sentence. Zhou Jian, the guy who'd usually be first in line screaming something stupid and charging, currently being digested inside a chameleon. Nobody mentioned it. Everybody felt it. Go. 3 shadows launched from cover. The dogs spun, bared disgusting yellow fangs, and charged. 10 seconds. That is all it took. 3 monster dogs that would make any normal person soil themselves, sliced up like deli meat. Lei Yu charged straight at the first, brought that rock-cleaving blade down like a guillotine. Dog head flying, black blood everywhere. Good sword, he screamed, grinning. This man had discovered his love language, and it was decapitation. Xiao Yan handled the second with surgical precision, dodged the bite, slashed the belly. Inside became outside. Elegant, disgusting, effective. Qin Feng and another soldier tag-teamed the third. Jaw sliced off. Then rebar through the eye socket, kicked the corpse into a wall for good measure. 10 seconds, 3 dead dogs, 0 injuries. This is the power of spending money. Han Bing checked the loot. Dog meat, toxic, useless, but the fangs and claws, material grade. Recyclable, 18 crystals total. Not much, but the principle was everything. Kill monsters, get paid. A reliable income stream. Qin Feng looked at the number, looked at the dark streets ahead, and said the most terrifying words a squad leader can say. We are not sleeping tonight. Meanwhile, across time and space, Zhao Jian woke up in the real world. He shot out of bed like a man electrocuted, gasping, clutching his chest, pawing at the spot where a tongue had punched through him. Nothing there. No hole, no blood. Smooth, warm, intact chest. But his brain still remembered everything. The cold, slimy feeling, the darkness closing in. All of it branded into memory like a burn. Kaijing Yang was sitting in a chair beside his bed, calm as a lake, reading a tablet, awake. Zhao Jian nearly fell off the bed trying to salute. Physically fine, sir. His face was still twitching. Tell me about Wasteland era. Zhao Jian opened his mouth. Real. That was all he got out. One word. Kaijing Yang waved off the filter. Permission to curse granted. Raw reactions only. Zhao Jian unleash. Every VR game ever made is garbage compared to this. The air burns your lungs. When you get hurt, you feel your skin tearing, your blood draining, your life force actually leaving your body. Long-term training there could produce something incredible. What he did not say out loud, anyone with a normal mental state would lose their mind in there. He nearly had. And he was one of the top soldiers in the nation. Kaijing Yang listened, absorbing everything, because he knew something Zhao Jian did not. It was never a game. That was a real world, real monsters, real death. This man had genuinely actually died, been eaten by a chameleon the size of a truck, and was sitting here thinking it was just impressive graphics. Back in Lin Mo's shop, while his employees were out grinding and his crystals were accumulating, he was in the back room trying to be a chemist. Sounds cool. It was not. First attempt exploded, second attempt exploded, third through 10th, various flavors of explosion. Each failure burned through 3 crystals worth of materials. Monster blood protein, 30 crystals a bottle, plotting herbs, 13 crystals per stem. Every failed potion was lighting money on fire. Attempt 11, explosion. Attempt 12, explosion. Attempt 13, success. 1 potion, cost to make, roughly for crystals. Sells for 5, profit margin of 1 crystal. He was running a lemonade stand at the end of the world. But he kept going. Hour after hour. His hands steadied. His success rate climbed from pathetic to decent to actually pretty good. By dawn he had burned through 1,521 crystals, and produced exactly 103 potions. He lost over 1,000 crystals in one night. Investment in the future, he told himself, trying not to cry. Then he looked at the clock. 5:50 in the morning, 10 minutes until the free resurrections. He looked outside. Empty wasteland. No movement, nobody back. Don't tell me they all died. Then 4 black dots appeared in the distance, moving fast, or at least stumbling aggressively. 4 people out of 9. Qin Feng in front, arm wrapped in bloody bandages, dragging Lei Yu, who looked like he had been through a car wash made of blood and gunpowder. 10 went out, 4 came back. And those 4 looked like they had crawled out of a garbage disposal. They did not walk through Lin Mo's door. They fell through it, collapsed like bags of wet laundry. Night shift tally, 6 employees dead, temporarily, for barely alive. 1 owner who lost 1,000 crystals learning to make cough syrup. And somewhere out in the wasteland, a truck-sized invisible chameleon was picking its teeth. Employee retention in the apocalypse is rough. Lin Mo gave them water. Because generous boss. Also because dead employees cannot buy things. Then Qin Feng dragged himself to the counter, wiped blood off his face, and said the most beautiful words a shopkeeper can hear. I want to buy stuff. And then he said something that nearly gave Lin Mo a heart attack. 8 rock-cleaving blades. 8 at 500 crystals each for 1,000 crystals. Yesterday they could barely afford 4. You sure? Lin Mo asked. No credit. Cash only. Qin Feng pulled up his account balance. 15,312 source crystals. Lin Mo almost dropped his tea. 15,000. One night. Did you rob a boss monster? Lei Yu grinned from the floor, wincing because smiling hurt. Nah. Luck. Turns out they had stumbled onto massive boss monsters beating the absolute life out of each other over territory. A giant meatball covered in tentacles versus a bus-sized spider with spiked legs. Caillou boxing match. Both brought armies of minions that got shredded in the crossfire. His guys had hidden in a ditch like brilliant cowards and waited. When both bosses limped away, the battlefield was covered in dead minions and source crystals everywhere. Free money. Easter morning. We picked up crystals until our hands were sore, Lei Yu said, beaming. These idiots had accidentally invented the greatest military strategy of all time. Hide. Let monsters kill each other. Loot the bodies. Qin Feng placed his full order. 8 swords, plus all of Lin Mo's health potions. Every single one. How many is that? Lin Mo checked. 1,862. His entire night of brewing. Every failed attempt, every burned crystal, every aching wrist. Bought in one transaction. He had spent all night crafting like a medieval pharmacist. And this man had just swept the shelf clean like he was at a bulk goods warehouse. Can you carry all that? Lin Mo asked. Qin Feng did not answer. Instead, he and others exchanged a glance, smiled, and stabbed themselves in the heart, right there in the shop. 3 grown men casually committing suicide in front of the counter. Lin Mo understood immediately. It was almost 6 in the morning, free resurrection time. Why waste potions healing injuries when you can just die and come back at full health for free? They killed themselves to save a few potions. They committed suicide for financial reasons. This was the most unhinged accounting he had ever witnessed. Han Bing, the only one who did not stab himself, stayed behind to guard the merchandise. Someone has to watch the stuff until they respawn. 3 corpses on the floor. Blood everywhere. One calm nerd sitting among them, checking inventory. This was his shop now. This was normal. 6 in the morning on the dot. The corpses dissolved into sparkles. The floor cleaned itself. And 9 people materialized at his front door, all of them, including Zhao Jian. Full health, clean uniforms, fresh faces, 0 injuries. Looking like they had stepped out of a spa instead of a war zone. Feels good, Lei Yu shouted, shaking the whole building. Zhao Jian was chatting and laughing like nothing happened. The man who had his heart ripped out by a tongue was making jokes. Death was just a free health refill now. These soldiers had fully embraced the mechanic. Han Bing caught Lin Mo staring and explained without blinking. We had 10,000 crystals worth of gear. You think we'd risk dropping it by dying while wearing it? Qin Feng nodded, just being cautious. These maniacs had committed suicide as an asset protection strategy. All right, Qin Feng announced. Log off for now. Eat. Rest. 2 hours. Back at 8. Today, we push deeper. Lei Yu waved on the way out. Save us the good stuff next time, boss. One by one, 10 figures dissolved into thin air. Shop empty. Silence. Lin Mo walked to the door, closed it, hung up the closed sign, and looked at his revenue screen. He had spent all night losing 1,000 crystals on failed potions. These guys had walked in and dropped over 10,000 in one shopping spree. Maybe he should stop crafting and just let them do the earning. The greatest business model ever invented. Sit here drinking tea, while immortal super soldiers go earn money and then spend it all in his store. He was the world's last shopkeeper, and business was booming. But then he saw the bottom of the screen. Blood red text. Flashing, because of course it was flashing. Warning. Monthly survival assessment activated. Countdown, 30 days. In 30 days, the store would face a massive beast tide. The safety barrier would be temporarily disabled. Defend the store or be erased. Lin Mo's smile died faster than Zhao Jian on his first night out. The barrier. His beautiful, perfect, invincible barrier that kept every monster outside. Gone. For the duration of the attack. Every monster out there, the ones his soldiers barely survived with the barrier on, would be charging directly at his store. At him. How big is the beast tide? Lin Mo asked. The system calculated. 3 boss-level monsters. 500 elite-level monsters. Common monsters, uncountable. Uncountable. The system could not even be bothered to count that high. 30 days, 1,000 employee slots, and an army of nightmares heading straight for his front door. Every single time something good happened in the store, the universe immediately followed up with a death sentence. Cool, 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 everything is fine. He was definitely not tapping the counter like a woodpecker having a nervous breakdown. One move. Call Kai Jing Yang. Get more people. Lots more people. System, connect me to Kai Jing Yang. Cross-dimensional calls cost 500 revenue per minute. Partial minutes charged as full minutes. Are you running a phone company or a robbery operation? The system sounded hurt. I am innocent. Cross-timeline calls use enormous energy. If you think it's too expensive, you don't have to call. Oh, he had to call. The alternative was death. Connect me. Kai Jing Yang picked up instantly. The man kept his phone on standby like he was waiting for classified intel from the future. Which he was. No time for small talk. This call cost more than a luxury car per minute. Lin Mo machine gunned the situation at him. Store upgraded. Level 2. Monthly survival test. Beast tied in 30 days. Fail equals death. Need people. Yesterday. How many? Kai Jing Yang asked. My cap went from 10 to 1,000. He heard the chair screech as Kai Jing Yang stood up. The man who stays calm under actual warfare jumped out of his seat because Lin Mo said a number. 970 elite soldiers, Lin Mo said. Best of the best, combat ready on arrival. 10 famous gaming streamers, female preferred. Reasons should be obvious. 10 random civilian gamers, guinea pigs, beta testers. Kai Jing Yang was confused about the streamers. Why waste slots on entertainers? Marketing. After this beast tied, the store upgrades again. He would need tens of thousands of people. Could not fill that with just military. Need the public. Streamers build hype. The 10 civilians were for testing how normal people react. If regular gamers lose their minds in there, they need to know before launching to millions. Kai Jing Yang got it immediately done. 2 hours for the soldiers. Streamers and civilians by tonight, guaranteed. Then he hesitated. The supreme commander of a nation being shy. Lin Mo, one more thing. Could you maybe send some health potions back to our side? This man had saved his life, given him 1,000 soldiers, and was asking for potions like a kid asking for extra dessert. Of course, give me a list. I'll be in touch. He hung up at 1 minute 59 seconds, just under the wire. Sorry, old man. Every second of chit-chat cost him a sword's worth of crystals. Somewhere on the other end, Kai Jing Yang was holding a dead phone and shaking his head at his complete lack of social grace. Then he pressed his intercom and activated something called Operation Prairie Fire. 970 top special forces operators, 10 gaming celebrities, 10 lucky random civilians. Full dossiers on his desk in 10 minutes. The man operated at a speed that made overnight shipping look lazy. Meanwhile, Kai Jing Yang was having the worst meeting of his life. 5 of the most powerful elders in the country sitting in an underground conference room. He had to convince them to send nearly 1,000 elite soldiers to play a video game. Have you lost your mind? Old man Shen slammed the table so hard the teacups jumped. National weapons, not internet cafe teenagers. Old man Wei was polite, but equally skeptical. Old man Wu just sat there reading reports in silence. Somehow that was scarier than the yelling. And in the corner, old man In, sitting in a wheelchair he had occupied for 30 years. Ever since shrapnel destroyed the nerves in his legs. War hero. Watching Kai Jing Yang with eyes that had seen everything. Kai Jing Yang stood his ground. I am not crazy. That world is real. Everything I am doing is for our nation's future. Old man Shem pointed at his water glass. If what you are saying is true, I will eat this cup. And that is when the potion arrived. A white light warped the air in the most secure underground room in the country. A glowing red syringe materialized out of nothing and floated into Kai Jing Yang's palm. With a crumpled sticky note attached. Old Kai, shipping cost 500 crystals. Potion cost 5. I'm bankrupt now. Here's one. More later when I'm not poor. Every jaw in that room hit the floor. Kai Jing Yang walked straight toward Old Man N's wheelchair. Old Man Shen jumped up. You are going to test mystery drugs on N? Old Man N smiled the smile of someone who stopped being afraid of anything a long time ago. Try it. I have been in this chair for 30 years. What is the worst that could happen? I am already tired of living. Kai Jing Yang rolled up the old man's pant leg to sticks of bone wrapped in papery skin. 30 years of muscle death, the kind of damage every doctor had called permanent. He injected Lin Mo's 5 crystal bargain bin health potion. Under the skin, things started moving. Muscles rebuilding, nerves reconnecting. bones cracking as they grew stronger. Old man gripped his armrest so hard his knuckles went white. Then he wiggled his big toe, the one that had not moved in 30 years. Tears poured down his weathered face. He grabbed the armrest, pushed, and stood, no help, no crutch, just stood there, shaking, but standing. This legendary warrior who had survived wars without flinching was crying. Old man Shen stared at his teacup, then bit into it, actually chomped down on the ceramic edge, broke off a piece, chewed it. A bet is a bet, he yelled through a mouthful of broken porcelain, laughing like a madman. No more arguments after that. Every elder was on board. 5 crystals. That is what that potion cost to make. 5. And it had just won a political argument, convinced the most powerful council in the country, and made a war hero cry tears of joy. Lin Mo should really raise his prices. Now came the streamers. Kai Jing Yang's people reached out to gaming influencers, including one called Wang Ban's Yan, the half-immortal, a cocky streamer who had just beaten a supposedly impossible game in a week, and was live bragging about it. Nothing can challenge me. Being unbeatable is so lonely. Then he got a message from the official streaming platform. 120 million followers. Gold verified, offering exclusive beta access to Wasteland era. He almost deleted it as spam. His chat saved him. Dude, that is the real official account. 3 minutes after his reply, knock knock knock. He opened his door to fully armed officers holding a silver briefcase. Your Wasteland era login equipment. Please sign for delivery. 3 minutes from reply to doorstep delivery by special forces. Overnight shipping could never. He put on the helmet, got sucked into the loading screen, and landed face down on Lin Mo's dusty wooden counter. Welcome to the store, Hotshot. Let's see how unbeatable you feel after meeting your first zombie. Wang Ban's Ya materialized face first and immediately started touching everything, pinching himself, sniffing the air like a toddler discovering the world. He found the live stream button, and his audience shot through the roof. Then he spotted Lin Mo in the corner flipping a knife and said, "Hey everyone, I think this guy's an NPC." So Lin Mo did what any reasonable shop owner would do. He flicked the knife and stopped it 1 centimeter from the streamer's eyeball. Wang Ban's Yan flew backwards, crashed into a shelf, screamed like he had seen his own ghost. The NPC is just shy, he told his audience, voice cracking. Shy? He almost got stabbed between the eyes and called Lin Mo shy. The chat was dying laughing. Half immortal scared by an NPC. Outside, the moment he opened the door, the smell hit him like a truck. 50 years of rot and urban decomposition delivered straight to his nostrils. Then his chat started recognizing the geography. That building, that billboard. I live near there. The geography is 1-to-1 accurate. It was, because this was that real city, 55 years later, after monsters ate everyone. Wang Ban's Yan puffed himself up. This is my city. Home turf advantage. He dug through rubble and pulled out a rusty piece of rebar. Behold, my golden staff. Demons and monsters tremble before me. His chat was already begging him to calm down. The other streamers are grouping up. You are going solo with a rusty stick. Wang Ban's Yan did not do caution. Wang Ban's Yan did content. Lin Mo started a mental timer. He gave him 90 seconds before the screaming started. He was optimistic. Wang Ban's Yan found his zombie fast, classic model, business suit, half a face, one eyeball dangling. He crept up behind it and charged with everything he had. He missed the head, hit the shoulder. The vibration nearly ripped the rebar from his hands. Before he could recover, a zombie claw caught him across the chest and sent him flying. Landed on his back on broken rocks. Pain, real bruise, real regret. The zombie pounced, breath like a dumpster that had achieved consciousness and chosen violence. His chat was having a collective heart attack. Wang Ban's Yang kicked it in the gut, barely moved it, and scrambled away on all fours like a terrified crab. Someone help me, he screamed. This is supposed to be a tutorial enemy. The swagger was gone. The confidence evaporated. The Lion Han's alone speech was ancient history. He dove into a narrow alley, tripped over debris, ripped his pants. And the pain was so real he ran faster because his brain finally understood what a bite would feel like. Then his real gaming instincts kicked in. He pressed his back against the wall, gripped the rebar like a spear, and waited. The alley was narrow, no room to dodge sideways. It was coming straight at him like a guided missile of rotting flesh. He screamed something deeply inappropriate about the zombie's ancestry. Then he stabbed, not swung, not slashed, a straight, precise thrust into the eye socket. The rebar slid in like a key into a lock. He twisted it. The zombie froze, claws stopping to centimeters from his nose. Then it went limp and hung on the rebar like wet laundry. He held that pose for 30 seconds, too terrified to let go, then collapsed to the ground, shaking, covered in black blood. That was the tutorial enemy. 500,000 people had just watched the unbeatable streamer nearly die, save himself through pure desperation, and sit on the ground looking like a car accident survivor. And his viewer count was still climbing. Something had clicked in him. He stood on shaking legs and delivered the most genuine endorsement any product had ever received. I will play this game until I die. This is what real gaming is. Everything before was garbage. And he was standing in Lin Mo's wasteland, covered in zombie blood, advertising Lin Mo's store ecosystem without spending a single crystal on marketing. But the real show was still coming. Because Wang Ban's Yan had spotted something, a sound ahead, soft at first, shuffling, like hundreds of feet sliding across pavement. He dropped behind a pile of cardboard boxes pressed flat against the wall and held his breath. An endless river of rotting bodies poured past the alley. Missing limbs, exposed organs dragging on the ground, hundreds of them. A full zombie parade, and Wang Ban's Yan had front row seats from behind plywood. The chat went completely silent. 500,000 people, and nobody typed a single word. The fear had actually transmitted through the screen. Viewers at home, sitting in comfortable chairs with blankets, were genuinely terrified watching a first-person view of a man hiding behind cardboard from a zombie horde. One brave soul finally posted, "Friendly reminder, those of you at home are allowed to breathe." Someone replied, "Thanks, I literally forgot." The horde thinned. Almost safe. Almost through. One pair of sneakers stopped in front of his hiding spot. A face pressed against the crack in the wood. Female zombie. One eye missing. The other cloudy and dead, staring directly at him from 5 centimeters away. She ripped the board away like tissue paper. There he was, crouching in the corner, hands still in the holding a board position. She screamed. Not a moan, a dinner bell. Every head in the horde turned simultaneously. He tried to run. Got about 1 step before the wave hit. Zombies piling on like a mosh pit from hell. 5, 10, 20 bodies. He punched. He screamed. It was like fighting the ocean. Then the biting. Everywhere. All at once. His camera went red, then black. System, you have died. Disconnecting. In the real world, he launched out of his chair, ripped off the helmet, sat there drenched in cold sweat, touching his own neck to make sure it was still attached. 5 minutes of just breathing, then he looked at his stream, still running, and croaked. I am alive. Just a bit too exciting. His viewer count had doubled during the death scene. He had lost 1 life. Lin Mo had gained 1 million eyeballs. All 10 streamers were dead within the first hour, every single one. And instead of quitting, they were competing over who could respond first. Because source crystals, the only way to buy early revival, could only be earned inside Lin Mo's world, inside his store's ecosystem. Someone had gotten a few crystals and listed one on an auction site. Price, 300 yuan. Then 500. Then 600. Then 1,000. 1,000 real-world yuan per crystal. Lin Mo's cheapest health potion cost 5 crystals. At current street price, that potion is worth 5,000 yuan. No cash shop. No microtransactions. No buy gems button. And people were spending more money than any pay-to-win game in history. Because they could not buy crystals from him. They had to earn them, or buy them from each other. Supply and demand doing exactly what it does. Wang Ban's Yan sat in his apartment staring at the ceiling. He had gained 1 million followers from a 10-minute stream. That ended with him being devoured alive. And he could not get back in until 6 in the morning. 20 hours of watching his competitors scramble and bid and fight over the right to play first. In 1 morning, source crystals had gone from weird game currency to the hottest commodity on the internet. More valuable than early Bitcoin. And the only place in the universe that produces them, Lin Mo's crappy, dusty, recently upgraded level to convenience store at the end of the world. He was sitting on a gold mine. No, a diamond mine. Every zombie his soldiers killed, every crystal they earned, every potion he brewed. It all had real-world value now. And the demand was only going up. Then his 10 civilian beta testers arrived. Not gamers, not streamers, not soldiers. Construction workers from a rainy job site with empty pockets and cement under their fingernails. Their leader was Wang Diaming. Big fierce Wang. Barrel-chested, voice that could crack concrete. Broke for the week because his construction site had flooded. His recruitment speech to his crew was simple. It is a game. But this one pays. We have nothing to lose. If it is fake, we walk away. If it is real, it changes our lives forever. SWAT showed up at their dormitory in the rain carrying 10 sci-fi gaming helmets and these rough, dirt-covered laborers thought, yeah, this seems legit. They logged in and spawned directly into a sandstorm. Sand blasting their faces like industrial sandpaper, mouths full of grit. One guy dry heaving on the ground. Wang Dieming spotted Lin Mo's shop through the haze. Run for that building. He kicked the door open, and all 10 tumbled inside like dirty laundry. Lin Mo looked up from polishing a can of food. Welcome to Wasteland Era. He handed them contracts. No tutorial, no hand-holding. Sign here. First quest, kill a zombie, bring back the body. Wang Dieming did not even read the contract, just slapped his palm on the screen. The others followed. These men would have signed a deal with the devil himself if it came with a paycheck. And technically, they kind of just had. Lin Mo looked outside at the raging sandstorm and gave them honest advice. Visibility under 5 meters. Going out now is basically suicide. I would recommend waiting. Wang Dieming shook his head. Thanks, boss, but I have been lying in bed for days. Any longer, and I'll grow mold. His buddy spat sand. We are construction workers. We have eaten worse than a little breeze. This is nothing. Wang Dieming pushed open the door. Wind screaming, sand flying, zero visibility. He turned back with the biggest, yellowest grin Lin Mo had ever seen. The bigger the waves, the more expensive the fish. Let's go, boys. Time to work. And just like that, 10 broke middle-aged construction workers charged into a sandstorm in the apocalypse to fight zombies they had never seen. Zero weapons, zero training, zero fear. Lin Mo stood there holding his cleaning rag, watching them disappear into the wall of sand. These guys were not soldiers, not gamers, not influencers. They were regular people who had been beaten down by life so many times that a monster-filled wasteland did not even register as scary anymore. They found a zombie, and the fight was a catastrophe. 9 casualties against 1 zombie. Completely outmatched, utterly uncoordinated, pure chaos from the first second. But Wang Dieming never stopped. Eyes red, screaming, hacking with the rusty machete until the blade jammed in the zombie's spine. When the machete stuck, his friend bear hugged the zombie from behind. Wang Dieming grabbed a chunk of concrete. Must have weighed 50 pounds. He lifted it over his head like it was made of paper and brought it down. Crack, crack, crack. Over and over until the zombie finally went still. He looked around. 9 bodies on the ground. Every single one of his friends, dead. Covered in black blood and concrete dust. The last man standing, sitting next to a zombie he had beaten to death with a rock. He dragged that corpse back to Lin Mo's shop through the sandstorm, alone, by sheer stubbornness. Lin Mo looked at him, bleeding, exhausted, barely conscious. Not bad, he said. Quest complete. Reward, 3 source crystals. 3 crystals. 9 friends dead. 1 zombie. The worst kill-to-death ratio in Wasteland Era history. Back in the real world, the dead workers woke up screaming, clutching their wounds, rolling off bunk beds. That money is not worth it. I quit. Never again. Wang Dieming ignored all of them. He opened a streaming app, found Wang Banxian's crystal buyer post and typed for words, 3 crystals. You buying? Instant reply. Yes, all of them. 3 crystals. 1,500 each for 1,500 yuan. These men earned maybe 200 yuan a day hauling concrete when there was work. Which there was not, because it was raining. Wang Dieming had just earned 3 weeks of construction wages by beating a zombie to death with a rock during his lunch break. He held up his phone to the room full of groaning, traumatized construction workers. Money is here. For 1,500 split 10 ways. The transformation was instantaneous. Sui Jia, who had been clutching his stomach swearing never again 5 seconds ago, let go of his belly for 450 in 20 minutes. Wu Yongyan, the man whose throat had been bitten out, stopped gasping, just stopped. Shirbota climbed off the floor, dusted himself off, and grabbed his helmet. That zombie bite felt like a mosquito. Put me back in. They had been crying 30 seconds ago. Now they were fighting over who got to put the helmet on first. Wu Yongyan was already strategizing. Next time the zombie bites me, I should shove my hand down its throat while the rest of you attack. I wasted my death. This man was planning how to be eaten more efficiently, not how to avoid being eaten. How to be better bait. But the free resurrection reset did not kick in until 6 in the morning. Dead means dead until then. 100 crystals to respawn early meant 150,000 yuan. The room went silent, just rain on the tin roof. 150,000 to respawn. That was more than most of them made in a year. Everyone deflated. Collapsed back onto their bunks, everyone except Wang Dieming. Because Wang Dieming had not died. He was still in the game, and he went exploring. Approximately 45 seconds after the sandstorm cleared, He bumped into a 20-meter-long black python with metallic scales and a mouth the size of a bathtub. He was not fighting this thing. He was running, full sprint, lungs on fire, snake right behind him, drool sizzling on his skin. He tripped, fell face first into the dirt, snake looming over him, mouth open, shadow blocking the sky. His hand grabbed the bone that tripped him. Last desperate instinct. Mutant beast bone, damaged, grade C recycling value, 11 source crystals. 11 crystals at market price, 16,500 yuan. Wang Dieming's brain made a calculation faster than any computer. He was about to die. If he died holding this bone, he would lose it. Recycle, he thought. Recycling complete, 11 source crystals acquired. Then the snake ate him. But the crystals were safe in his account, untouchable. His final act before death was not screaming, not praying, not fighting. It was completing a financial transaction. He looked death in the face and said, "Hold on, let me deposit this first. Construction worker priorities, secure the bag, then die." He woke up laughing. His crew thought he had lost his mind. 11 crystals right before I died, he said. Let that sink in. At current prices, 16,500 yuan. The dormitory went silent enough to hear individual raindrops. 3 months of wages, earned by tripping over a bone and getting swallowed by a snake. And then something beautiful happened. They refused to take a cut. That money is yours. We did not earn it. We are not taking a single yuan. Honor among construction workers. These men would fight zombies for pocket change, but would not take money they did not earn. Then the foreman arrived. Zhang Bapi. Belly sticking out, flashlight blinding everyone. Cement delivery. Unload the truck, now. Any other day, they would have swallowed it, because they needed the money. Because their families needed the money. Because what choice did they have? But today they had source crystals in their accounts and a game that paid better than concrete. Wang Dieming stood up. All 6 feet of him. He pinned the foreman to the floor, foot on chest, and unleashed a verbal storm that would have made the system crash. You think we are your dogs? Talk to me like that again and see what happens. Sui Jia slammed a hard hat on the ground. I quit. Find someone else to exploit. I quit too. Same, 10 men. All standing. All done. They grabbed their things. Mainly the gaming helmets, which they guarded like newborn babies. Blankets left behind. Clothes irrelevant. The helmets came first. They walked out into the rain, past the sputtering foreman, heads held high. The courage they had found fighting zombies in the apocalypse, they had brought it back to the real world. Once you have been eaten alive by monsters and lived to tell about it, a fat man with a flashlight just is not that scary anymore. Lin Mo had built a store to survive. Kai Jing Yang had built a plan to save humanity. The soldiers had built an army. The streamers had built an audience. But Wang Dieming and his crew had built something none of them planned for. They had built their dignity back, one zombie at a time, in a world that had already ended. And that, in the end, was worth more than all the source crystals in the world.